two numbers by another number. It is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products. So you know that 4 times 14 is 56.
Okay, so the reason that works, okay, is because the distributive property says I can take 14 and I can break it down into okay, smaller numbers that I know I can multiply, and then at the end I add my products back together. Okay, because to distribute means to take a big group of something and make smaller groups out of it. Okay, that's what the distributive property of multiplication does. Alright, let's see one more example.
You can use base 10 blocks to model a problem. Let's use base 10 blocks to model 4 times 14. The base 10 blocks break apart the tens and ones of the greater factor. So you can think of 14 as 10 plus 4 and use the distributive property to find the product. 4 times 110 is 4 times 10. How many does that equal?
What is 4 times 10?
40.
40. Okay.
40. Now multiply 4 times the ones. There are 4 ones. What is 4 times 4?
16.
Okay.
16. Each part of the model shows a partial product. Add the partial products, 40 and 16, to find the product.
Okay, think of 40 plus 16 in your head. Okay, think of it. Don't raise your hand, just think of it. And let's see if you were thinking of the right sum.
The base 10 blocks model the product 56. So you can break a factor into lesser numbers in different ways and model the distributive property with base 10 blocks to find the product.
Okay, so you've seen two different ways, same problem. The first way, they broke 14 into 9 and 5. Okay, the second way, they decided they wanted to think of it like base 10, so they pulled out that 10. 14 is 10 plus 4. Okay, so that's why you have a group of 10, and then you have 4. That's a group of 14. That's a group of 14. A group of 14. A group of 14. I know I need 4 groups of 14 because that's what the problem was. 4 times 14 is the same as saying 4 groups of 14. Okay? So base 10 pieces are also another way to think of it. And remember, when you're using base 10 pieces, you don't have to draw each little individual piece. Okay? You could just draw a line for the 10 and little dots for the ones. Okay? So it doesn't have to take you 30 minutes to use base 10 pieces, but that way will always work also. Okay? Yes, Brenna?
How would you solve it using this strategy if it was 4 times 24?
It would be, instead of, you wouldn't use base 10 pieces if your number's gone on to 20. Okay, but you would break it down into 4 times 20 plus 4. And you can do 4 times 20 because it has that 0 in it. Okay, that's why we taught you to multiply with zeros before we went on to these other lessons. Okay, but today it's going to be pretty easy numbers like 14s, 16s, 18s for you to really get good at the process. And then we'll add bigger numbers to it, and it'll be very easy for you to do. Okay? Alright, if you will, put your water bottles and snack trash on the floor, and in your Go Math book, I need you to meet me on page 87. Once you're on page 87, okay, I need you to either get out crayons or colored pencils. This is an investigate lesson, so we're going to use some crayons or colored pencils. 87, then crayons or colored pencils out on your desk. There's no reason to talk right now. Once your crayons or colored pencils are out, okay, I need you to go ahead and get out a orange crayon. Okay, everybody's going to start with the same colors. Get out an orange crayon. and then get out a light green crayon. Okay? Orange and light green. Or colored pencil, whichever one you're using. Okay? Yes, you do. Just get out green, but we'll just color lightly. Green down in there. Yes, green is green, it's fine. We're just going to color lightly. Okay? Alright, put the colored pencils down for right now. I will let you know when you're going to need them, but they'll be out when we need them. Okay? But put them down for right now, because we're not quite ready for them. Okay? Alright, Josh, read to us the essential question. Fred the Fox read it for us, but I want us to read it before we actually start working on any problems. Hit it, Josh.
How can you use the distributive property to multiply a two-digit number by a one-digit number?
Okay, circle the word distributive property. Okay, that is very important to this lesson today. Circle the word distributive property. Okay, and then underline where it says multiply a two-digit number by a one-digit number. Even if you already know a strategy. Okay, today you're going to prove that you can use the distributive property to multiply two-digit numbers by one-digit numbers. Okay? Alright, then we know it's a hands-on investigate lesson, okay, to help us start to think about multiplying these larger numbers. It says we're going to need colored pencils and grid paper. Go Math did us a great big favor and they gave us the grid paper, and you have out your colored pencils already. Okay? Alright, I need you to read to yourself as I read out loud, okay, these next two statements, and then we'll start with your colored pencils. Okay? Alright, it says you can use the distributive property to break apart numbers to make them easier to multiply. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by a number is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products. Okay? Miss Calvert is not very worried that you can tell me what the distributive property says, because that's a whole lot of stuff that it says. It's almost a paragraph what the distributive property's definition is. What I want you to know is when you see distributive property, it means to break apart your numbers. Okay? So up here in this first sentence, okay, with your pencil, circle distributive property, then circle break apart. Circle distributive property, then circle break apart. Okay? Because it says I break them apart. At the end, I got to put them back together to get a total. And that's all it says. Okay? Alright. So what we're going to do, we're about to solve the problem 6 by 13 using the grid paper. Okay, listen to this carefully so you don't make a mistake. The first factor, the smaller factor, always tells you how many you should go down when you're drawing the rectangle. The second factor always tells you how many you should go across. You are using your pencil right now, not your colored pencil. We're getting there. On this grid paper, the one at the top of your paper, okay, I need you right now to sketch out a 6 by 13 rectangle. You're going to want to start right here, or you're not going to have enough room. But you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. Okay? And then you're going to go across 13. Okay? And you're going to go across 13 on the bottom. And then you're going to go up. Okay? Whoops, and I did that wrong. My bad. You may have to erase the first time like I did. Okay? But it needs to be 6 by 13. It will be a perfect rectangle. Okay? Everybody sketch out a 6 by 13. Well, my grid paper looks bigger, is why. Mine, okay, just because you saw them do this with 4 by 14, okay, all right, be so used to it, okay, that we won't even have to use grid paper. You'll just know how to draw your boxes. Today we're taking baby steps, okay? All right, for the first time that we solve it, we want to break apart 13, because we don't know our 13 facts. I don't know my 13 facts, okay? So we've got to break down 13 into an easier number to solve. Okay, so we're going to take 13 and we're going to think of 13 as 5 plus 8. Okay, so up here on your model, on your 13, okay, and I erased mine for a reason, but on your model, okay, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, and you're going to draw a line straight down. Okay, to give you a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, draw a line going straight down after that 5th box with your pencil. Okay, just like that. That's going to give you 2 smaller rectangles. Okay, if you're confused, yours should look just like the picture in the box. Okay, it should look just like the picture in the box. Okay, all right. Take your green colored pencil and shade in that group of 5 that you just drew. Shade in that whole smaller box. Shade it in. Just shade it in. I know theirs is blue, but I want yours to be green. Okay? Shade it in. So you see that it's 2 separate pieces. Okay? Alright, once you drew the line at 5, that meant you had 8 more, okay, groups of 6 on the other side of that. So take your orange and color in the other rectangle. Okay, that's your rectangle that has 8 groups of 6. So you see it as 2 separate pieces of that model. A group of 5, a group of 8. Okay. Alright, pretty soon the colored pencils are going to go away and you're not going to have to color it anymore. Okay, but this is just so you see we broke apart a number, so we got both pieces of that number in our model. Okay, if you have not already, some of you already